Welcome to BlueView In-User Training 101. This short online video was created for new and existing employees who are unfamiliar with BlueView. In this course, we will give you an introduction into what BlueView is, including some basic terminology. We will show you how to open the BlueView homepage and give you some instructions for installing the Internet Explorer plugin. We will also cover some basic navigation functionality and some common objects you will be interacting with. Finally, this course will end by showing you how to save your selections in a BlueView bookmark. So let's get started. What is BlueView? BlueView is the name of CHEP's QlikView business intelligence solution. BlueView consists of dozens of small workbook applications, each one geared for a specific group or department to track a specific group of metrics or data. BlueView allows end users to slice and dice through their data quickly while showing charts, graphs, and tables of their data. BlueView also allows end users to customize by allowing them to create their own charts and objects, but we will be covering this aspect in later classes. All in all, whether you are an analyst, executive, or anywhere in between, BlueView allows you to view data important to you in the way you want to see it. Let's go over some common terminology you may hear about BlueView. QlikView is the actual name of the software BlueView is based upon. QlikTech is the name of the company that creates QlikView application. QVD and QVW are the two main file types used by QlikView. A QVD is a QlikView data file. A single table or a dataset is stored within a single QVD file. A QVW is a QlikView workbook file. Think of it like an Excel workbook or an Access TV. The QlikView workbook has tabs and uses QEDs and other data sources to display the data to the end user. So how do we connect to BlueView? Open up Internet Explorer and go to blueview.chep.com. On this access point page, you will find all the QVW workbooks available to you. You can either look through all of them and find the one you need, or if you know the category of the application, you can use the category drop-down box to filter through the list. You can even create your own grouping of favorite applications by clicking the blue down arrow at the top left corner of each thumbnail and clicking Add to Favorites. This will add the application to your favorites category. BlueView works best in Internet Explorer. While it works in Chrome and other browsers, only Internet Explorer can use the QlikView Internet Explorer plugin. The IE plugin makes the objects look much nicer and provides additional functionality not available without it. If you have not done this already, click the link in the top left corner of the BlueView homepage and download the IE plugin. When the message box comes up, click Run and follow the wizard. Once the installation is complete, you will need to close Internet Explorer and reopen it again to initialize the plugin. Now let's switch to the actual tool. I'm going to go ahead and use the training application for this one. You'll see this application later in other online courses. So I start at the BlueView homepage, and I'm going to go ahead and scroll all the way down to the training application. In this first view, you see a basic pie chart showing you the quantity of pallets shipped by the transaction type. The first thing you should note is that unless specified, BlueView always shows you all the data. So this pie chart actually represents 2 years of data stacked together. If you only want to see 1 year of data, you have to make a selection. Okay? So if you want to see just 2012 data, you just click 2012. Now if you want to see 2012 for only the Midwest region, it's as simple as making a few selections. This is basically how you navigate around BlueView. Some of the objects you will use in BlueView include list boxes, multi-boxes, and charts. List boxes show you all the values in one field, and by pressing the little search button in the top corner, you can search for a particular value you're looking for. Multi-boxes squish multiple list boxes together into a smaller bit of real estate. And finally, charts shows how data interacts with each other. For example, in this first pie chart, we see how the total quantity relates to itself when grouped by transaction type. There are many different chart types that work for almost any situation. We won't go over every one possible, but we will cover the ones that are more widely used. Gauge chart shows one metric measured against some limit placed upon that metric, like for instance a total cost versus a budgeted cost, or in this example, cube, which is the average number of pallets on a truck, against some predefined target. Cyclical groupings are simply several charts with a common expression placed together in the same bit of dashboard real estate. Only one chart shows at a time, but you can toggle between them by using the cyclical arrow. Like for instance, in this chart we have quantity by material type, but if I press the little button here, I can have quantity by transportation mode, or quantity by logistics region, or quantity by transaction type again. It's the same metric, but the axes of how it's being divided changes. This sort of concept is similar to the drill down grouping. Only the only difference is the drill down grouping has a hierarchical relationship. So in this example, I have the quantity by region, but if I click on the north region, it gives me the quantity by only those plants inside of that region. And if I press the little up arrow, it'll go back up a level. Expression groupings are similar to cyclical groupings, but instead of grouping a single dimension, you can group different expressions entirely. The functionality is the same as the other groupings, however. Simply press the circular arrow to switch between the metrics. So over here I have the actual cost per unit, the average cost per unit by week. If I press the button, it changes to cost per unit minus fuel by week, or the quantity by week, or the number of loads by week. So the axes down here is similar. It's just the expressions or the metric that's changing. The final three objects are the table box, the straight table, and the pivot table. If you're familiar with Excel, the operation of these should be familiar with you. By double-clicking the column headers on any field, you can sort ascendingly or descendingly with the table box or with the straight table. The main difference between the straight table and the table box is that the table box is meant to show detail level data, whereas the straight table chart can have one or more aggregated fields. And of course the pivot chart works just like your pivot table in Excel, where you can take one of the fields and kind of pivot it up at the top. Now let's go into the BlueView toolbar here in Internet Explorer. Across the top you have the Clear button, which clears out your selections. The Back and Forward button, which works kind of like the regular browser button, but only works for a selection. So if you press back, it'll go back to your previous selection. And if you hit forward, it'll go forward to the expression you had before. The Lock and Unlock buttons locks in your selections. So if you were to hit the Midwest and you were to lock that in, if you were to hit Clear, the Midwest would not clear out, but you'd still be able to make other selections, and those additional selections would clear out. And of course, the Unlock button unlocks all your locked selections. The Search button works exactly like this little search button in the top of your list boxes. So if you highlight a list box and you hit Search, it'll pop up that little search window. And this brings us to the bookmarks. Let's say you were in charge of 4 plans: USBH, USX8, USQ4, and USOH. You can either go through and type in your 4 plants. So USBH, USX8X, hold down the Control key, USQ4, hold down the Control key, and USOH, hold down the Control key. You can either go through that little procedure every time you want to look up your 4 plants, or what you can do is save them as a bookmark. So you hit bookmarks, you hit add bookmark, give it a name, and there you go, you're done. If you were to clear out your selection, leave BlueView, come back tomorrow, your bookmark is saved right here for you. Next we have the Current Selections button. After you've clicked around in BlueView a bunch, it's sometimes hard to keep track of what you selected before. The Current Selection buttons open up this small separate window that keeps track of everything you selected. This way you can always know exactly what filters you have on your data that you're looking at. Some applications are built with a Current Selection box embedded into the dashboard, some do not. The refresh button here doesn't actually apply to end users, so don't worry about it. The print possible button lets you print possible values in any chart or list box you want, or you can print a chart. The report button displays any PDF reports created for this application. We really don't use this much here at CHEP since we try to stay away from canned PDF reports. You probably won't ever use this button. The next button opens up the collaboration panel. BlueView allows end users to create their own custom content. For example, if you wish to see data in a chart slightly differently or grouped by another dimension, the end user can clone that object and change it however he wants. We won't be covering object customization in this video, however. If you were to create a custom object, you could share it with your team members by way of the collaboration panel. Here we see an example of a custom object created by Mr. Paul Henderson. To use that chart, we simply click the chart and drag it over to any free space, like so. Paul still owns this object. if he were to make changes to it, those changes would trickle down to what I see here. Next we have the Help button. QlikView has a very extensive help section. If you have a question on how to do something, going into the help section is a good first step. Finally, we have the menu button. The main functionality you might find useful here are the zoom, if you need to shrink or enlarge the objects to resize it for one of the monitors in the meeting rooms, and the Add Sheet button. When you get into making your own custom objects later in later videos, adding new sheets to put them on is a good way to keep your dashboard from getting cluttered. This concludes our video. Thank you for the time you spent watching. I hope you've gained enough insight to use BlueView for your daily work. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact anyone on the Business Intelligence team. Thank you.